Hi, everyone. Today we're with Michael Kimball, professor in the Department of Anthropology at the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Northern Colorado. Michael, welcome. Thank you for joining
Hey,
us.
thank you. Thank you, Matthew.
So please tell us how you discovered HRAF in the first place.
Yeah, so it all started actually when I was working on writing a textbook. It was during a sabbatical, and I wanted to make the textbook. It's called Ethno-Wise, and it focuses on it focuses on using culture shock as a medium for learning about cultural diversity and engaging with cultural diversity. So I was working on that and realized as I was writing that I needed to have examples that students could really kind of, you know, immerse themselves in that come from different cultural uh, case studies all over the world. And so I started working with eHRAF. I was familiar with it before then, but I just used it as a way to sort of cherry pick, I guess you could say, interesting cultural case studies and include those in the text of the textbook. And then later on, an opportunity arose, or I discovered the opportunity for the NSF funded Summer Institute that eHRAF was running, or that RAF was running. And I applied and was accepted. And so I spent 3 weeks on Yale campus studying with some brilliant people, both the instructors who were incredible, Carol Ember, and a great team that she brought on board, and then my fellow Summer Institute students. It was an incredible learning experience. We really went deep on cross-cultural research, using statistical software and crafting hypotheses and so forth. And I learned a tremendous amount from that, and then came back to my university committed to embedding eHRAF methodologies and assignments into the work that I do as an instructor. Um, and one of the things that I was working on while at the Summer Institute, because it really intrigued me, was this. I've noticed that the way that ethnography or ethnographic work engages with altered states of consciousness as they show up in different societies around the world is very functionalist, or it focuses on a sort of cultural materialism or some aspect that connects people's experiences with subsistence or with trade or religious systems. And I started to wonder if maybe these altered states of consciousness could produce new knowledge that people would bring back and in some way change their communities, change their societies, change the belief systems, so that would be a two-way street rather than just this is the practice they have because of these are the natural resource ayahuasca is available in their environment and so forth. A less materialistic and more kind of, I don't know what you would call it, a more uh, trans materialistic perspective on the role of altered states of consciousness in human society. So I spent my entire time, 3 weeks, struggling with that one. I crafted a hypothesis and really struggled with the ethnographic accounts, which of course are written by folks, from the 19th century all the way up to present time, who have their own orientation, their own research orientation, and few of them had the orientation I was going into it with, and therefore it was very difficult to find accounts that gave me data to address my research questions. So I went in a slightly different direction, but still revolved around that. And then when I came back to the university, I kept playing with it, but this time I played with it in the context of a class that I teach, an honors level undergraduate class called Culture and Consciousness. I created that class because I'm interested in that kind of thing. And started to think, how can I get my students engaged, train them in using eHRAF so that they can then go on to use it in other ways for their own academic careers, but give them a chance in my class to experiment with this, to delve into this same question that I had in the context of culture and consciousness. So the most recent iteration is the one we're kind of meeting about right now, and that is taking the tools that eRAF offers and asking questions about near-death experiences that are based in the work of Gregory Shushan, who wrote a book on who's written several books and papers on near-death experiences, on cross-cultural investigations of near-death experiences. So we use that as sort of a foundational layer there that we could build upon by doing our own cross-cultural research.
That sounds fascinating. And these are undergraduate students, honor
These
students,
are
you said.
undergraduates.
And how did they
Honor
find?
students,
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
coming from all different academic backgrounds, I mean, disciplinary backgrounds. So, people in psychology and history and sports and exercise science, you name it. They're coming from these different areas, but they thought the class sounded intriguing, and so they took it.
And how did they find using eHRAF for their research?
I think they really enjoyed it. This semester, perhaps I haven't gotten the course evaluations yet, so stay tuned. But this it was very structured this time around. We had actually a narrower window in which to conduct the research, and so I structured it a lot. So I built the research design. I built a shell basically in which they could then go and do their research. So I gave them the OCM codes. I gave them the hypotheses that were derived from Shushan's work. And I even gave them a template for how to where to put their data and how to analyze their data, so that in the end they had output that was consistent across all the research groups. There were only 8 students in the class, which is wonderful for those of us who like small classes, and we had 4 teams of 2 researchers each, and so they were able to produce results that ended up in a poster presentation at our university's annual conference, that were consistent, in terms of their design across the 4 research teams, so that you can actually look at all of those posters and compare the results across regions.
That's fantastic. Well, we plan to feature that work from your students on our homepage and in our
Thank you.
newsletter. So thanks so much for letting us know about that. And thank you for
Absolutely.
joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Enjoyed the opportunity. I'm grateful to you and to eHRAF for making this possible.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.